kindly sit down. Salamat po. Executive Secretary Salvador Medaldia, the other members of the Cabinet, Pasay City Representative Amy Calixto Rubiano, AFP Chief of Staff Ray Leonardo Guerrero, and other major service commanders, other distinguished guests, mga kababayan. I'm glad to be back from a second APEC Economic Leaders Meeting in Da Nang, Vietnam. Together with other APEC economic leaders, we agreed to work tirelessly for free and open market and investment towards quality and innovative growth in the 21st century. Connectivity, the internet and the digital economy, public-private partnerships, and the other inclusion of MSMEs in global value chains were some of the salient points and shared priorities of economies in the Asia-Pacific. I had the occasion to discuss the importance of inclusive growth and the need to provide MSMEs with the opportunities to grow and become catalysts of national development. Putulin ko lang to. Ito yung mga maliliit na negosyo. Anything that is really provides money and make the economy go around. Mga kunting-kunting negosyo ng pangpaikot ng negosyo natin. Ito yung maliliit. And we discovered that almost about 70% of the total volume of trading all over the world, mga maliliit, contributing to the larger economy, yung may mga kapital talaga. Kaya ho naman, nagbubuhos ako ng pera dyan, and I will add more kung makakolekta si Secretary Dominguez ng pera. Alam mo, kinakain nito almusal pati hanggang hapunan pera. Walang na nakikita ito kundi pera. I need the money, but tapusin talaga natin dito yung korupsyon sa gobyerno. Meron doong desirability to open a business, pero yung lead time ng the ease, yung paano magmadali, na reflected doon sa report na medyo mababa tayo. And I have been, putulin ko muna itong papel, trying to control graft and corruption. I do not know how much we have restored the faith of the people in government. Basta ako, sinabi ko, importante mawala ang graft and corruption. Yun ang kampanya ko. That was the number one promise. Then the need to eradicate, kung kaya lang, ang droga. Itong law and order ang pangatlo, and this would greatly depend on the talks going on about Mindanao. And dito sa taas, itong naputol na usapan natin sa mga komunista. Sa Mindanao, it's proceeding well. Nandiyan na sa Congress yung proposal ng MILF. At kung magustuhan ng Congress, and they find no really a good reason to deny it, unless of course it runs counter to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, which I hope can be solved by negotiation. Yan ho ang kailangan ko. I need peace in my country, and I need to get rid of corruption. Meron akong pinalabas na executive order na announce na ata, and we have come up with the gamot of so many things there, including sa negosyo. And I am warning everybody again, marami na akong pinalayas sa gobyerno. Ayaw ko yung publicity. But I have fired so many people to date. At gusto ko pang kung sino yun nagpapahirap kasi ang bayan natin ang nahihirapan. You know, when you go into graft and corruption, even sa local level, yung business permit to open an opportunity for investment there. For as long as they hang on to the papers, documents, for their approval at inabot ng minsan 6 months, naghihintay lang ng pera. And there was this group dito sa national na talagang, alam mo, sa totoo lang, cabinet members ko, nandito nila. They're only given 1 month. Kung 1 month na ang cabinet, lahat ng papilis na sa kanila, why can't a new business venture go ahead with the least worry of the routine business permit? I will suspend any local government official, and especially yung appointed by me. Marami yan. Pag nakita ko na pinapahirapan ninyo or you allow corruption to thrive in your locality, then as mayor or governor, I will order the new secretary of the DILG, yung chief of staff si General Anyo, to investigate you in this give you about 3 days to explain. If I am not satisfied, layo ng delay, kasi gusto ninyo pera. Yan ang problema dyan. Ngayon, nakita ko doon, all okay tayo. We're one of the fastest growing economies, but I want to hurry it more. And the only way to do that is yung nakalagay na maluwang ba doon to get the papers to start the business. And again, I reiterate my warning to the cabinet members. 1 month. 1 month palabasin mo, either you deny it and state it clearly why, or do not hang on to the papers, or I will just, give me a reason to doubt about your integrity and honesty, and I will fire you. Pahirapan dito ngayon kasi gusto ko na the next generation, okay na ang buhay nila. Then drugs, anak ka ng, maniwala ko, uupakan ko talaga yun. Despite or in spite kung sining magsisigaw dyan, wala akong pakialam. Basta sinabi ko, ayaw ko talaga yan. I'm just trying to gauge the improvement that has been introduced. I have allowed PDEA to have the exclusive. So nawala na. For the longest time, I haven't had any talk with the PDEA. Titignan ko lang kung tataas. Pagkatataas, babalik ang pulis. Pag magbalik ang pulis, yun ang trabaho nila. Destroy the drug syndicates. How? Gamitin na ninyo ang pagkapulis ninyo, pagkasundalo ninyo. And again, I say, problema ko yan. Hindi niyo problema yung kaso-kaso. Ayaw mo silang magreklamo, let them raise hell. I do not really give us. Ulitin ko yan. I'm doing it because I have to improve the situation of my country. Kung aabot ako dyan ng 5 taon plus, at wala akong nagawa, at ang corruption pa rin nandyan, ay mag-resign na lang ako. Ano man sa akin niya, I have served you for so many months. Anyway, and if I think that I could not really deliver the goods, mabuti pa ma-resign na ako. Bigay ko na lang sa iba. Kung hindi ko kaya, di sabihin ko sa inyo, hindi ko kaya. Pero gusto ko kasi, compared Vietnam, it was a hard war there. At makita mo gaano kalinis, gaano ka-orderly ang tao doon. Kasi sumusunod. I do not criticize you in public while I am outside of the Philippines. But kung ako nabaski na may press, mag-usapan na tayo ng matino, may ibang istorya yan. Either I get the results by early next year, running government pati yung online, sinabi ko na online na lang, passport online, clearance is online. Gamitin na ninyo because it is the digital age. Ang pag-asa natin ay ang mga anak natin. So they have to learn the basics about cyberspace and everything. Digital communications. And I will make mandatory. Instead of textbook, bibili na tayo ng for each of the children. Mag-aral na sila ngayon as early as first year. Mandatory na lahat ng gobyerno sa atin is to provide the textbooks and of course, learn how to use the computers and everything. And I will save enough money for this. It's going to be billions, but I will save for something that is beneficial to our children. Wala na akong ano dito. As I see the panorama here, puro wala namang alam. Kung mag-criticize kala mo sino, inayaan ko na lang. Hindi, wala tayong alam dito, wala tayong kayo. Baka akala ninyo wala akong alam. Anak. But you know, that is politics. And for those, just like the others, ayaw maka-accept ng talo. Well, I'm sorry for them. I would not waste my time. Tarry, just because I have to answer you. Anyway, hindi naman ako makatakbo uli. All I have to do is really just to work for the country. I will hindi good governance. Sabihin ko lang, Commission on Governance. Bahala na sila and all available. Ilagay ninyo dyan sa 888. Baski hindi ninyo, ayaw ninyo yung pangalan ninyo, you can use your alias. But for every report of corruption, bigyan ko ng importansya. I really want corruption to stop. Hayaan mo yan mga daladayan, hindi totoo yan. Wala kaming milyon-milyon. Kaya sabi ko, kung hindi ko kaya, paalis ako. Pero susubukan ko, maybe next year. At tignan ko talaga kung ano ang takbo ng bayan natin. But one is corruption, then drugs, because it is dragging us down. Wala akong pakialam kung sinong magdaldal dyan. You can even talk to the devil. I really do not care. I'll just work and work on the promises that I made to you. Corruption, drugs, and law and order. Dito sa tatlo, medyo mahirap. You just to bear with me because it is really not easy to seek peace just like the clip of your fingers. I also discussed the importance of human capital development in nurturing our talent pools towards sustainable employment and services competitiveness. I spoke of how, in a region whose population is predominantly young, marami tayong, yung ibang matatanda na, aging society, they call it, zero ang increase ng population nila. Kaya they are worried who will run the country 2 or 3 generations from now. Tayo ang mayroong marami. Let us take advantage of our young population and give them the necessary knowledge and the tools to make this country a place where you can live. Hindi na wala akong nangako na magandang buhay. I said to you, I would just like to make every Filipino comfortable. Pati yung crime, it has to stop. Yung crime sa streets. So kayong mga human rights, you have all now the time to go around and convince these people to stay clear. As I have said, I have been running, meron akong sa Davao, it was about 22 years ago, may na ako, drug rehab. Ang mag-slide, the chances of getting back into that sticky business of drugs is about 8 mag-slide, 2 lang ang mag-succeed. That's on record. Now, if you can, yung iba, kung madala sa pagdasal, di pagdasal ninyo. It can be run as a neighborhood thing, then do it. Basta ako, ayaw ko talaga. Wala na akong magawa dyan, wala na rin kayong magawa dyan, nabitawan ko na yan. Kasi papatayin mo man ako o hindi, gagawin ko yan kasi pangako ko yan sa tao. And I do not just take my word back, lalalo ng itong mga ganitong problema. For after all, it's all wrong. What is right in corruption? Anong makita mo diyan sa droga na makapabuti sa ating bayan? Kaya by next year, kung buhayin pa ako ng Panginoong Diyos, I want the country to go a notch higher. 1 bar, 2 bars higher than what we have now. That's my only dream. And after that, I can retire or die immediately. Gagawin ko yan. Wala na tayong magawa dyan. Nasabi ko na yan. And I won because of the platform. Ano man sinabi ko sa inyo? Corruption, droga, law and order. I'll talk to the rebels, both on the ideological, pati yung territorial dito sa Mindanao. If I succeed, then papasalamat ako sa Diyos. If I fail, then you can condemn me for the rest of our life. I mentioned how the Philippines will increase infrastructure spending to realize the golden age of infrastructure that will enhance mobility and connectivity, both by air pati physical. That's how connectivity is defined dito ngayon. In my engagement with the foreign and business leaders during the APEC CEO Summit, I have called on businesses to adopt inclusive business models to improve the capabilities of the poor, facilitate their access to finance, and open up to the MSMEs participation. Ang isa niyan is mga lupa natin. We have practically given up our farms because we have the least. Pinaupahan mo yung lupa mo kasi mas malaki ang saging. But most of the saging are in the hands of the multinationals. So, binigay na natin because it is a cash crop. Pera eh. Pag-harvest mo ng banana, pag-export pera. Well, it was the expense also of the decrease in the land dedicated to our pagkain, the food crop. So in many areas, wala na nagtatanim. Inaamaduno na yung mga lupa nila, 1 or 2 hectares mahirap, or give it up for growing pineapple, banana. All export. At wala na tayong lupa na sapat para sa pagkain ng Pilipino. And we are increasing in numbers as the population has almost exponentially naging 110 million na tayo. We have to survive. We have to do something about it. My participation in the APEC leaders meeting this year is especially meaningful because 2017 is an important year of the Southeast Asia as Vietnam chairs APEC and the Philippines chairs the ASEAN. I spoke on behalf of the ASEAN in the first ever dialogue between APEC and ASEAN, the two international groupings which are the most things important to our country today. 7 of the 10 ASEAN member states are also APEC members, and their economies expands just like what is bound to happen, and that is working for your country. Basta dito, magtrabaho ka sa gobyerno, isipin mo muna yung interest ng gobyerno. The interest of government must bago yung bulsa ninyo. But I have said, I hate corruption. Maniwala man kayo, okay lang. Ayaw ninyo maniwala, okay rin. Basta sinabi ko na nag-warning ako. Ayaw ko talaga. Do not hang on to papers and documents beyond what I have ordered in that executive order. Otherwise, look for another job. During this dialogue, I discussed on how ASEAN economic community has opened up prospects for further growth and how APEC should grasp the opportunity presented by ASEAN integration to build a larger and potentially more prosperous mega-region. I have pledged that the Philippines would implement a human approach to development and governance and would undertake all efforts to achieve inclusive, sustainable, and resilient growth for every Filipino. I also would like to share with you that I had a bilateral meeting with President Tran Cô Quang of Vietnam, the current host of the APEC, and our ASEAN fellow members, with whom we have a rich and deep relationship. I also met with the Prime Minister Peter O'Neill of Papua New Guinea, the incoming chair of APEC, to whom I extended our support for their chairmanship in 2018. I also took the opportunity to meet my counterparts from many economies. I renewed my friendship with President Vladimir Putin of Russia and President Xi Jinping of China. About 2 hours and a half, or 3 hours ago, my last bilateral was with President Xi Jinping. And doon in the open, kasama ko mga official, and I see a very bright future for our relationship. Nothing to do with military. As I have stated before, and I was not lying, I would not entertain talks about military or anything, except that I had to thank Mr. Xi Jinping for the timely and crucial help that he extended to our country when we were fighting the siege of Marawi. Kasama na doon si President Putin. We also had the talk bilateral. Kami pati yung cabinet members ko. And it was a very fruitful one. They have expressed their open support for us in fighting terrorism and drugs. And almost all of them also have the same problem. So madaling kausapin because we are just also suffering from the same discords with drugs. We would like to thank Vietnam for graciously hosting APEC this year, and we look forward to the APEC meeting in Papua New Guinea next year. Now it shall be our turn to welcome to Manila our distinguished leaders and guests to the 31st ASEAN Summit and related matters. Ang pinaka-meaningful na bilateral ko, yung sa Russia, pati sa China. And I assured President Xi Jinping of our friendship and that it will remain warm and robust. Wala kaming pinag-usapan na the cabinet members were there, all of them. Member took up, except they say that he's supporting me doon sa insurgency pati sa drugs and the help that they can extend to us. Yun lang, at nakikita ko ang natalo tayo sa rating. Vietnam, who had to endure the war for so many years, is hindi naman living off more than the others. But at the rate they are improving, they will catch up with us in due time. What would pull us down? It is law and order and drugs and rebellions. The critical ones actually would be how we deal with the MI and MN. Sila lang ang gusto kong kausap. Ayaw ko ng ibang, I will not even with one sentence, lalo na sa terrorism. Di talaga ako pwede makipag-usap yan. Dito sa komunista, so it's not my place. Kanila yun. Kung nakikita nila na mali lahat ng ating ginagawa as they are trying to proclaim on the streets, then why the heck deal with us? Kung ganun pala kami kasama ang gobyerno, kung ano-ano pinagsasabi mo, and yet the taxation, makikita mo na sinunog yung tractor, sinunog yung all because of extortion. Was it yesterday or the other day before I left? May inambo sila na convoy. Namatay yung pulis, pati sugatan ang apat ata. They also killed in the process a 6-month-old baby. I hope the human rights would take the cudgels for them. Tayo, we will pursue them to the ends of the world. If you are guilty of a crime, hindi na rebellion sa akin eh. There is no more ideology, so I do not recognize the crime of rebellion. One, because if you're just a member, you can piyansa, bail. And when you once oppose your bail, go back to the mountains and fight my soldier. Ako yung commander-in-chief eh. Police. Ako yung police ng PNP. Pati yung police pinagpapatay niyo, then we want to start to talk. I really do not know. I made something like a promise to them that I would not talk about these matters. But it was given, I think, to Doresa or Bello, I forgot, or to the two of them. Pero I am not bound by any commitment with anyone. I will do what is to the best interest of the Filipino people and my country. Wala na akong ano dyan. If you think that we do not serve your ear because all of us in government are corrupt, tapos mamatay tao, then do not talk to us, period. We can end the talks right here. I really do not care. There's always a time for everything. Maybe lahat ng panahon sa mundong ito may kanya-kanyang. So, there's always a time to talk about peace if it's needed, then if it's not, then we will fight. But I would not subserve any other interest except the Filipino people.